Oh yeah, yeah, the two champion people.
Z Zara?
Is
Zaya?
it?
I
Is
think
it?
it's
Is
Zaya.
it? It's an X. It's an X, right? Honestly. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I just called them like R and X because screw actually
Although that
learning
that was a pretty
X.
cool teaser video.
Tip.
Click on it. He was the our listener who sent it in played the Kled into the top lane Lucian, and he's like, "There's a lesson there. Never assume you've won in champ select."
Welcome to the Four Wards Podcast. Hey, what's up? It's Eric Bra, voice of Draven, Jerks, and Vel'Koz. And you're listening to the Four Wards Podcast, here to help you move forward in League.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 95 of the Four Wards Podcast. I am your host, as always, Badger, and I am joined by two wonderful gentlemen this evening. I have Thallium. How are you, Thallium?
Hello. I'm quite well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. And, of course, we also have Mr. George P. Burdell.
Who, according to a third party, looks lovely this evening.
I don't know who that third party is, but...
It's Frown Power. He's the one who voted for you on Twitter.
Well, I mean, but everybody knows that he thinks that every evening. Like, that's nothing new.
Yeah. Shout out to Frown Power for being the only person to vote in the Sexiest Podcast Host competition that we had earlier on in the year. But that was then. This is now. It is April 13th. I just had to totally look at the day because I don't actually keep track of days anymore. Numbers are just a thing to me at this point, so. What?
I don't know where you're going with that.
Are numbers ever
time-
not a thing to you?
Time is just a thing.
Time
Days.
is just, like, have you ever seen the movie, like, In Time or whatever it was with
No.
Justin Timberlake? Okay, good. Don't watch it. It was terrible. Time is like a commodity in the future, and when you run out of time, you die. And of course,
It's a commodity right now.
I mean, no, it's actually like currency in this movie. Like, you have a built-in sensor thing on your arm, and it had like your time left, and you had to like gauge what was worth it and what wasn't. And of course, one of them ran out of time, and they were star-crossed lovers or whatever BS was it, and one of them ended up dying, and it was a sad ending, and nobody really cared because it wasn't that good of a movie anyways.
Seems like a rather on-the-point metaphor for life that
much.
really doesn't have to be looked into farther.
Speaking of star-crossed lovers, the trailer teaser kind of thing.
Teaser.
It was a teaser. I don't really think
Think
it's a
so.
teaser since they've already been announced. Like, wouldn't it be like a
Thank-
trailer animation kind of thing?
Thank you, leaks.
Hype movie.
Hype movie. Let's go with that. So, Rakan and Zaya? Aya?
The R guy
so.
and the X guy.
The support dude and the 80 carry chick.
The birds.
Yeah, I honestly don't know which one's which, to be honest.
I
said
couldn't tell
honestly
you
twice
either.
in that sentence, which was wonderful.
The one I can't pronounce is the ADC.
Yes, the one that
Zaya?
anybody can't pronounce is the 80 carry.
Pretty sure it's Zaya.
Yeah,
So
that
they
one.
Riot released a teaser today. It was called what was it called? Shoot, what was it? I didn't even watch it. Like
I
know
did. There was a scene that really spoke to every mid ADC and support in the world, where the squishy champion had to fight Zed for a while and almost lost. Instead of just exploding into a ball of feathers, she was saved at the last moment. But that made me happy because Zed lost. So
I
really enjoyed this video.
because I enjoy seeing the 80 carry win, but I also enjoy seeing Zed win as well. Like, if they could have like traded kills, I think it would have been all right with me. But
Any video in which Zed loses is a good video.
disappointment.
Except for that
Everyone.
one video from Faker and Ryu, Zed versus Zed.
Well, I mean, Zed lost in that video.
It's true, but Zed also won
So-
in that video.
It still counts. I'm not against Zed winning.
Does
It's
it
just he
actually
has
count
to
if,
lose.
Like, both of them are, Zed.
I mean, like, as long as Zed loses, I'm fine. Zed can still win, but as long as there's a loss, it's okay.
Oh, jeez, that was really loud. So yeah, I guess Zed losing excites George and Thallium, so I will have to keep that in mind and just play Zed in our next tree line game because I'm guaranteeing that happens. So no, I
Beautiful.
actually don't want to lose tree line. So
Never again.
in other news this week, the ex-Origin coach ended up putting up a Summoner School thread. Which one was it? Was it?
We're all cheaters and lying to ourselves on how to improve.
Oh no! Which coach was it? Oh, Hazel.
Hazel.
Yeah, Hazel. I
Yeah,
couldn't remember
Hazel.
what his name was. But he put up a
Didn't
really
he-
good post on there.
And didn't he come on the proper once?
I don't think he
I'm
did.
pretty sure he did.
Hazel.
Hazel.
Yeah.
I don't think he was. I don't think it was Hazel.
Hazel, has he? I can't.
Not that I recall, but we
Not
can.
that I can
anyway.
remember. If anybody does know, please email us and we'll figure it out for next
Oh,
week.
we could probably just ask Adam.
I mean, we could ask Adam, but I think
Mhm.
either would be a viable solution to our problem at the moment. So we'll go with that.
Yep.
But he put up a pretty long thread on Summoner School, basically talking about how you're cheating yourself when you're climbing.
You're cheating yourself when you're not admitting the truth of why you're not climbing.
Mhm.
And it's about it seems to be about mindset and hubris and checking your ego, making sure like you are in fact analyzing yourself and putting in the hours and the time necessary to actually climb and improve the way you want to, which is just good life advice in addition to good league advice.
Yep.
We agree. We agree wholeheartedly.
Speaking of hubris, shout out to Natural Disaster H for sending us a match history in which he assumed that he won at Champ Select, and he learned his lesson in that he did not, in fact, defeat a top lane Lucian. Badger's wincing. I deeply appreciate your email.
I
I mean, like,
appreciate it. It's just the fact that it actually like kind of worked.
How do you beat this? I mean, come on. Like, you can't go into battle assuming you're going to beat the most overpowered character in the most overpowered role.
You can play
No.
top lane ADC Kennen and be reckless.
But that's not top
Like the
lane
person,
Lucian.
not the style.
Yeah,
I
but
think
it's
both
still not
would
top
actually
lane.
work though.
Nah.
Oh, come on.
Anyway,
You can't do that.
yeah. If you think we're like trashing you, Natural Disaster, trust me, I've lost to all kinds of ridiculous. I lost to a mid AP Aatrox one day.
I have lost in promo series to a singed mid rushing banner.
Zerot,
Yeah, Portal.
Portal. I won a game as Riven yesterday. Anything can happen.
We could be on a podcast. How ridiculous is that?
I know, right? It's crazy. It's almost like we've been doing this for 25 or so episodes at this point.
Yeah.
Some number.
Give or take. So. Alright, so with that, correspondent news, we have talked to a couple people, and of course, if you are interested as well, Thalion, what is the deadline for that?
It's Monday morning, so unless you're listening live, I believe you've missed it.
Oh.
Yeah. And
I
if
thought
you
it was
are
next
listening
week.
live, we
17th, which
Yeah.
is why it's not in the document anymore.
But if you are listening live, which I don't think any or very many people are,
I'm pretty sure
we're still looking
I'm
for
the
like
one.
one or two more, if possible.
Yeah, we're still looking for a couple, so if this miraculously gets put up before Monday morning.
Or if you're listening to all these episodes much later in time and you're like, oh, I missed the deadline. It's kind of a rolling thing. We're probably just not going to announce it every week.
Yeah.
probably.
I mean, after this, we're probably not going to announce it. Just
Yeah, that's more of a, hey, this is the last time we're going to say something about it. Just make sure you get it in, and we'll take a listen. So, appreciate it. So, network news. I think this is probably one of the funnier things. So, the network put out a video that was it was Dom playing the cowbell on the new Alistar skin for a solid, I think it was minute and a half. Something like that.
That's
It was, I mean, it was a clip, so, but pretty much every opportunity he was just spamming
They
cowbell.
got like a 2v2 like win bottom lane, and he was standing on top of the enemy, and he was hitting that cowbell.
Dunk, 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 dunk. It's
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 so
amazing.
tilting. Like
yeah. It tilted his own team.
it actually tilted them. So
Does muting like character voices work with that, or
Emotes? I
like
don't know.
there has to be a way to mute that?
there probably is. We
Hmm.
just don't know how it.
But then we
how
would
it's
get
working.
this video.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth it.
I think it's actually worth
It's also
it.
got some. The proper talked about Nunu and Nunu changes when they did their 7.7 rundown.
Mhm.
And then Chira played a game of Nunu, and the Chira, I don't give a fuck manner, which was also pretty entertaining.
Chira's like the biggest troll that I know when it comes to playing Nunu.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
I know he's a
There's
Yeti.
there's
Wasn't
an-
playing Trundle.
This guy right here. Swear. This guy. No, but there's an aptly named Benny Hill reference in there as well.
Watch the video. It's like 9 minutes. It'll be
Just
in
watch
the
video.
doc.
It's like 9 minutes long, but it's worth it. So, shall we get into your guys' favorite part of this this champ select thing that we're doing?
Oh, do we get
Ages
to bash
Part
on you
2.
again by saying we're not going over marksman?
Yeah, we're so true story. We're getting stuff set up. I'm like, oh, what are we going over this week? And they're like, control mages and marksmen. And I'm like, wait, I thought you said we were doing marksman next week. And they're like, yeah, we just wanted to get your hopes up, pretty much. Thanks, guys.
We love
is that
you.
how I
Don't worry.
respond?
We're here to piss you off.
It happens every week. It happens every week. It's okay. So we are here to talk about what's the name of the class we're here to talk about this week, George?
So, the name of the overall class is Riot calls these guys controllers. The best way to talk about them, to give a just flat out description, would be controllers are supporty shit.
Utility mages.
Yeah,
Control
Like,
mages.
they're not. Their objective might be to do damage, but they usually have secondary objectives, which is extremely high zone control.
Yes, they do. So you want to go over the first class, then?
Yeah.
All right.
This is probably my least favorite actual mage class because I hate these guys for the most part. First one would be Disruptors. These are your classical zone control mages in the mid lane, covering Anivia, Zyra, Heimerdinger, Orianna, Morgana, Teemo, and Talia.
This is my favorite class.
Oh.
Like last week we did the burst mages, and I played a lot of those. But disruptors are really, I mean, I love Zyra. I've played so much Zyra over the years. I did insta buy that new Zyra skin, and she just suits my style in that I kind of want to hang back and like do some CC and throw some shit out and let it happen, and just kind of disrupt the enemy fight, the enemy overall. And I've played some Orianna. I like Orianna a lot. She's got huge zone control, and that ball is just threatening at all times. I think one of my first champions that I played more than one game with, like as I was leveling up, was Morgana. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was like, oh, I kind of dig this. Let's play a couple more games of this. And then I got shit stomped because I was like level 10 playing with my platinum friends, and that didn't work out, but that's fine.
Oh, of course.
Now-
Work out.
Let me ask you, would this still be your absolute favorite class if Zyra wasn't in it?
It's a good question, but if she wasn't in it,
No,
I don't know where
I
you
mean,
would-
let's say Zyra was never made. Not she was in a different class, but like, if Zyra wasn't a thing, would this still be your favorite class?
Wow.
I'd probably be evenly split between this and because I like a lot of the burst Meiji people as well. Because I like Victor a lot. I like the Lux. I'm learning Syndra, so I'd probably bounce between those two. But if we're thinking about disruptors and the amount of zone control and CC, Lux and Victor do a lot of the same things. In that Victor's got the big CC area and the laser beams, and Lux has the E and the Q that just can catch and slow and disrupt enemy teams. So there's a lot of overlap there. The main things where people aren't, your burst mages aren't as often showing up in the bot lane as a support. Although, to be fair, I think the only two on this list that ever show up as supports with any regularity are Morgana and Zyra.
Mm-hmm.
They're the aggressive
What are you
support
talking about?
mages.
Teemo support is really, really, really viable. Clearly.
Use the V word. Shh.
Turnabout's not fair play, Badger. You're not allowed to set us off.
What? I can't. Wait. I can't turn it back on your own. I can't turn your own game against you
No,
guys.
no. I can dish it, but I cannot
you guys
take
are
it.
mid
I am
laners.
a
You don't have to deal
fragile,
with the influx of Teemo supports that
fragile
I have seen.
man.
I
No,
have-
I just
I
had
have-
to
I
deal
have
with people
seen some
fucking
shit,
taking my
Valiant.
support, my mid lane, down bot to support, and then or banning it. Let's go, ban Zyra. She's fucking broken as support. It's like, but I wanted to take her mid. Troll. Yeah.
I got a month of playing Malzahar after he got nerfed to the point where he wasn't banned every game, and before he got picked as support every game. I had a month of playing him after about
You
5
also
months.
had,
You were
break.
garbage for 6 months. What do
You
you
had
expect me to
6
do?
years of playing Malzahar. It was fine. Zyra immediately went bot.
Yeah.
Immediately. I mean, granted, I just played her there also, but
Congratulations, guys. I'm a support main now. My main champion has gone down bottom.
Yep.
nice.
Yeah, no. So,
So yeah, this whole class of champion mostly wants to do what the name says, disrupt. Although disrupt, I want to say disrupt implies they don't have tons of damage, and I've definitely been just freaking murdered by most of the people on this list at some point or another.
Yeah.
Anivia
yeah, they're really good at
particularly.
blowing people up.
Yeah, Anivia's
Well-
QE with the critical.
I'll
that-
say
Catch people off guard.
I'll say this class specifically is, from what I've seen, the highest difference between somebody who knows what they're doing with it and somebody who's just baseline.
I would agree.
Yeah.
When you are against a guy with 200 or 300 wins on Anivia, it is an entirely different fundamental matchup.
Those Anivia players are insane.
Hmm.
I actually get scared when I load in and they're you can tell by level 3 if they're a good Anivia player or not, and you're like, all right, this isn't gonna be too bad, or oh
Yeah.
shit, I probably am gonna lose really, really hard.
Also,
Yeah.
the thing about a lot of these champions, with the possible exception of Orianna, Orianna's pretty mainstream meta these
Mhm.
days. But usually, when you run into these people, Orianna and Zyra support, I'll say. Usually, when
yeah.
you run into these people, they
Nah,
put in a lot of time.
nah, Talia still requires a decent. Even though you see her a lot, you don't see many of them running around on game 2.
True.
I mean, she's not Orianna, Orianna you see a lot, and it used to be most people that played her were like Talia is now, where they had a good 40 games on her.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't so much the case anymore with her, but Talia is still definitely in that spot where the people that play her play her.
I mean, you
Yeah.
have Oriannas that still run around in sombrero. half their ults in a game. So
Yeah.
Who hasn't done that at one point or another?
One time I didn't.
Liar.
what? my
You're gonna tell
Orianna
me
is
that
clean. Are
You've
you
never
I'm
tossed your ult in the wrong spot.
I'm the best Orianna in the network, man. Come on.
Yeah, that's why you're still platinum and not in the LCS.
And that's why.
No, I
I'm
mean
an
he just
AD
doesn't
carry.
play Orianna.
I don't play.
Nah,
I
he's
don't play
he's too
mid,
good
dude.
for that.
I don't play it, man. Come on.
It's busy playing Heroes of the Storm.
Hell yeah, dude.
All right, so
Um,
so
recommendations.
yeah, recommendations.
Orianna.
I'm gonna say it depends on how much time you have. If you have, 20 games to sink into a champion, Orianna is great because Orianna, she is super popular right now, but Orianna is one of those champions who, no matter what the meta is,
She's
always
always gonna
good.
be good.
That is why
She's
I
always
hate her.
gonna be
That
good.
is why I hate her guts.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So there's no point where like, oh, Orianna got gutted and she is miserable. That doesn't happen with Orianna.
Give me a season just without it, please. Just one.
If you just need to pick up something for like a weekend, I'm gonna say Morgana.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd say Morgana would be a pretty good. Like if you have 10 games, Morgana. If you have 25 plus games, I'd say like Anivia or Orianna. I think Talia could be up there as well.
Yeah, I'm going to be the one to spice things up because Talia is the second most fun champion I've ever played behind Aurelion Sol.
She's pretty good. I actually
yeah.
enjoy playing her as well.
If you want fun, if you want to have a fun time, play Talia.
Yeah, I played a couple games on her, and I did find her fun. I just didn't have time to master her. And like, she's got an incredible. If you go to like the experience curve graph on Champion.gg, where you look at win rate versus games on Talia, it's almost exponential.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. So if you got the time to put into Talia, she could be amazing. And as evidence of like some of that steep learning curve, I do have a plays clip that I'll put in the show notes where I just fuck everything up, and Garen gets away with literally 1 health.
He could have thrown an auto attack and it would have killed him, but
I did, and then I canceled 1 auto attack because I thought he was gonna die, but he took like 34 out of 35 damage. I was just like, oh, fuck.
Beautiful.
it's magnificent, man.
All right, so moving on to the second category. Do you want to go over this, Thalium?
Enchanters are more the pure support. The people are like, oh, it's a support class, but it's a mage support. That's where we get enchanters are. They have lots of skills that buff your allies, more so than yourself. And there are times where some of them do like sick damage, but that's the exception, not the rule. So the list of champions is Janna, Nami, Sona, Soraka, Lulu, Bard, Zillion, Karma, and Taric. And if you think about the kits for any of those, they're like, oh, they have 1 or 2 or 3 even, like, supporting spells.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say it's a lot of support. I think the closest one to not being like a support-ish on the list was like Karma, because she's
Zillion.
Zillion's a good one too, as
Yeah.
an example, because he can speed somebody up or slow somebody down, and he can revive somebody, or he can give somebody a second life. Like, I think Karma or new Karma, everybody plays her with wind speakers, so it doesn't matter. She's a support, but
Lulu is the one that most often gets out of bot lane and goes elsewhere, because Lulu was played mid lane for a long time. She's played top lane for a long time.
Yeah.
But like, Lulu is a 6 ability champion because 2 of the ones you can cast on your allies and the enemy, and they do different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can shield someone or slow someone else, or slow an enemy. You can speed up an ally or polymorph an enemy with her W and E. But that's the only exception. Like, So Lulu, Zillion, and Karma can both all go solo lanes, but none of the others really do, almost ever.
Nah. And if you compare them to the list we just went over, the disruptors, if you think about it, they do the same thing. Like, they control zones really well. The difference is they don't have their zone control through damage.
Right.
Or Peel.
Like, Orianna has zone control because you really don't want to walk next to her ball, because she'll kill you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Someone like Janna, you really don't mind being knocked up by the tornado, but it's gonna happen, and it's gonna be a pain in the ass.
Knocked up by the tornado, knocked back by her ultimate.
Yeah.
Her everybody
Slowed.
inside of her circle is gonna be healed. Yeah, there's a slow in there.
Like, these guys aren't necessarily so much scary as they are just inevitable and a pain in the ass.
Yeah. They also do a great job of. They got some Peel. They're also like increase the effective health of all the other champions that are nearby. So like the things you can dive, suddenly maybe you can't dive anymore because Lulu just hit 6. Well, I fucked that up, or something like that, or Sona or Janna or Nami. Any of those people can really
Something
save a
along those
life
lines.
with 6.
These guys exist to be a giant cock block
There just
to
seems
every
be
single
an
play you
ass.
try to make.
Like another a difference is like in the list on the left, the disruptors. There are exactly 2 spells that you can cast on your allies,
Yeah.
and like most of the enchanters have 1 or 2 by themselves.
Yeah.
Some of the list is 12, 14.
Yeah, that's right. Well, going on to recommendations.
Janna, for the love of God, if you are if you are transitioning to support, and you're like, I don't know who to play as a starter that is low mechanical but has high impact, just play Janna.
If you want to get to Diamond 5 and then stay there
If
forever.
If you want to cop out to Diamond, play Janna.
I'm gonna say Lulu.
Lulu is really good right now.
Lulu's I
just
think
fun.
Lulu's about to become the new Janna.
She's just fun,
Well,
and then you can
so-
always take her mid lane.
The question I have, Badger, do you think you say Lulu will become the new Janna? The reason Janna's Janna is that she's been Janna across every single ADC meta there is.
Yeah.
Do you think Lulu will have that staying power once the ADCs rotate away from the Bork?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. Or you can give your 80 carry like a 300 point shield and like another 750 health on top of that. And you can speed him up, and you can slow everyone around him if you can hit skill shots. Basically, if you can hit skill shots, like Lulu and Sona are really good.
Mm-hmm.
If you aren't as confident in your skill shots, Janna and Nami. Actually, Nami wouldn't be a good one because Bubble's
Soraka.
really, really hard to land. Soraka. No, don't play Soraka.
Come on.
Remove Soraka from League of Legends 2017.
Well, I'm going to go and actually recommend Soraka because, I mean, yeah, we don't actually want more people playing Soraka, but she is probably the most frustrating champion to play against, historically
God.
speaking.
She's psychological warfare.
You will never enjoy a game when Soraka is on the other team.
I can't tell you how many times we've like done a really good trade in bottom lane and we're at like 400 health and they're like 150 HP, and then like 10 seconds later they're full health, and it's just like
Well,
I hate this game.
Don't
Yeah.
trade before Executioner's calling.
it used to be okay, like when Warlords offered a way to kind of at least help sustain against it to a similar degree. But now that Warlords isn't free lifesteal in lane,
You just gotta like hope and pray that you can get to your Blade of the Ruin King, and just like
yeah.
go from there.
And you can spend the 800 gold to buy an Executioner's Cauldron, but then you're spending 800 gold to buy an Executioner's Calling.
I used to do it when I would play.
I mean, yeah, but it's kind of the same thing. I'm okay when I'm Malzahar and people buy a QSS because it means they didn't buy something that they actually wanted at that point in time.
And you're saying that me getting back when Ghostblade was meta on pretty much everybody, getting the Executioner's Calling before the Serrated Dirk.
You weren't getting Ghostblade at like first item. You were just delaying it a little bit.
Right, and we're just saying that relative 800 gold is almost similar. I mean, it's like 550 gold. No, it's 1400. QSS 1400 or is it 1300 right now?
QSS
13.
is 13, I think.
Okay, so 500 gold difference. But that 500 gold difference still is the difference between you having like 20 AD and like 15% lethality now than 10 AD and your opponent can't heal.
Well, yeah, I mean, think about it this way. 800 gold is how many waves?
800 gold, about five or six, depending on how well you can last hit and cannon.
Yeah, and while you're right in that it is cheaper than QSS, and QSS isn't an offensive item, so there's that. Like 5 waves is still a decent chunk of time.
3 minutes, including back time and running time back to lane. So,
I mean, it's a decent chunk of time. It's an investment in like the Executioner's Calling is an anti-snowball item at that point because you're trying to stay even, and it's an item that'll help you stay even against the Soraka lane instead of just getting pushed out over and over while they just stay there because Soraka says, ha, fuck you, over and over again.
Well, you just have to, like, dodge Soraka Qs and take good trades. Like, that's how you beat her. Like, you have to kind of focus her a little bit and just don't get hit by the Q, which the Q is actually slow enough that if you have proper reaction speed and can move out of the way, I think early boots with a damage item is better against a Soraka than an Executioner's Calling.
Badger 2017. All you have to do is be better than the Soraka.
Well, that's the solution to everything. I mean, I'll say that if you get sent back with like 900 gold against the Soraka, get the Executioner's Calling in a couple of pots.
Yeah, I mean,
get sent back with like
ideal thing.
1100. Get boots in the Executioner's Calling. If you actually get to the how much is this rated Dirk? 1100.
1100.
Yeah, it's 1100.
All right. If you get this rated Dirk, I don't play the lethality.
Well, you don't Ghostblade anymore, so I was just saying.
How much is the Cutlass?
I think Cutlass is 1150.
1400.
Oh.
No, it's 9 and 350 and another 250 on top of that. So 1500, I think. I don't know. I think early vamp and boots is better than just straight up finishing a Cutlass, though.
Alright. Oh, did you get a recommendation, Dalian?
I said Lulu.
Oh, yeah. So Lulu, Janna, and...
You're the one who decided to burn the fucking world down, you asshole.
Start a 5-minute conversation about Soraka. Just
here's my Healicorn. It's a unicorn that heals.
Well, I mean,
up really quickly when allies are at low health.
I mean, she's a star child, and I have an affinity for like starry stuff and space stuff. So, and she's also purple, so I have to put in a good word.
Excuse me while I take your balls and hang them from my horn as a trophy to your impotence.
Right.
Wow, that just went south really quickly.
I don't like fucking Soraka.
Yeah, but I don't think she takes people's balls as a trophy. And
she castrates everyone.
Rengar has the bone tooth necklace, and Soraka has balls.
Yep.
If you thought Aurelion Sol had some balls, you should see Soraka. I actually did have a friend, like 2 reworks ago, who used to play tank Soraka top lane. We played it all night.
We went like thing, and that was like the best level 1 spell in the entire game.
Yeah. We went like 5-0, playing all night with tanked Soraka top. I was just like, oh god, You are cancer. I mean, thanks for the LP, but you are cancerous.
Well, what are you supposed to do? She can heal and give herself mana, like,
Yeah,
and
it was pretty
shred your
busted.
MR, and do bonus damage, and heal.
And she can
herself.
choose to silence you instead of giving herself mana.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's why they reworked her like twice.
it's beautiful.
Right, if you're listening, Soraka is a toxic pit in the game of League of Legends, and we should probably,
Soraka's actually a normal human, but she's just so cancerous she grew a horn and hooves. Cancer. It's a hell of a thing.
wow. Okay.
Wow.
So
Moving
Trinket
on.
tip. Are we moving on to the
That
trinket tip so
should
we
sum
can
up
stop?
controllers.
So we can keep our family friendly rating before we.
I'm
What
pretty sure that
network
was
do you
busted
think
before
we're on?
we even got on this show.
Well, probably knowing the network. So. All right, so trinket tip this week, George. What do you have for us?
So, as we get into the mid-season patches and information dumps being put out, I would just like to put out a friendly reminder that nothing on the PBE is final. Weird shit's
Wait.
going up. It's getting changes. There are probably going to be more changes.
Wait, so you mean Riot's not gonna make Thornmail build into Randuin's Omen and completely fuck over all AD carries in the game?
Riot's probably not going to do that. They might, but they're probably not.
You know, when they settle
Riot's
on a theme,
probably
for
not
season
going
7.
to actually let Banner be cast on champions.
and that theme is fuck 80 carries, they're sticking to it. All the way, baby.
Just living up to the AD carry in 2017 lol meme. Thank you,
Mhm.
Riot. I appreciate it.
Why the best 80 carry in the ULCS right now is Kennen.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, so, I mean, sure, go ahead and panic, but don't panic too much. Just panic a little bit. Tiny bit.
Just get on the PBE, play some games, offer your feedback. Then maybe they'll, I don't know, decide not to do whatever it is that they're trying to do.
I honestly want to know what was going on with, like, the balance team when they were discussing that, and they're like, hey, you know that Randuin's Omen item? Yeah, it's really good against crit 80 carries. What's up? You know Thornmail? Yeah, it's good against,
ADCs.
it's pretty good against 80 carries as well. Why don't we throw the two of them together and make them into the same item? Holy shit.
Nah,
That's
nah,
crazy.
The way I see it, it was like, you know what would make people flip their shit? What if we did this just to screw with them?
As if they haven't done enough yet with this.
No, I mean,
with what's
no-
coming
no-
out so
no
far
plans-
this mid-season.
No plans of putting it to live. Just what would everybody's reactions be if we acted like we were going to do this?
I would probably go cry in like that corner behind me.
Welcome to Four Awards, the premier Heroes of the Storm podcast.
Things would get really hot up in here.
It's like, we're gonna go play Diablo for a while.
We're gonna go
We'll see you in
play
season 8.
something else. See you
Maybe.
next season, guys.
Madness.
Truly madness. No, but I think Riot has the potential to bring this kind of back into tank meta after Blade of the Ruined King is going to be meta for like a month total, probably.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll see. Like the tip says, nothing is final.
Nothing is true.
Yeah.
Everything is permitted.
Everything will disappear in the end. Nothing matters.
Isn't that like the Assassin's Creed logo? The thing? Hold on. I have a poster over here. Where's it at? Yeah, I think that's what it is. Whatever. I clearly know my video games so well.
I was just
Yeah.
imagining briefly like Raya is building. They're carpenters and they're building a table, and it's pretty good. It's just slightly tilted, slightly off balance. Like one leg is a little bit longer than the other. So they decided to find an axe and just cut that leg off, and hope it works out.
Yeah, and I mean, just
That'll be balanced, right?
just-
That'll be even.
relax and remember that what's the worst that can happen? Let's say it does come to life. In a few 100 million years, the sun's gonna like expand and engulf the Earth. Rise is gonna get another rework, and everything's gonna not matter anyway.
We're all gonna die and nothing matters.
Damn it, George. That's good.
I mean, I'm not wrong.
I mean, if we're 200 million years down the line, how many reworks has Rise had at this point? That's the real question.
One every 18 months or so.
Yeah.
We're about due
So
for the
no.
next one, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Gosh. Okay, so let's move on to listener questions. Someone please take this while I try and control my laughter a little bit, because this is too
All right.
much.
I'll read one from Lorraine.
Mhm.
Hey, I've heard you begging for questions yet again on episode 93, so I guess it's my turn now. My name is Lorraine. I'm from Germany. I'm your typical casual gamer with soon-to-be wife, toddler, full-time job, and just enough time to play a couple of games a week. This might be German me. After all, anyway, I'm currently bronze 1, long side, and after failing 3 promo series, I didn't play ranked for a while. I've narrowed down the pool of champions and roles to play and feel quite confident when it comes down to champion mechanics. Whenever the matchup makes sense, I'm going with Talon mid. More often than not, I have a very strong early to mid game. My problem, however, is to make use of Talon's early strengths to support the rest of the team. Oftentimes, I would have a substantial lead prior to the 10-minute mark, but one of the other lanes gets stumped. Given Talon's mobility, I will try to put pressure on the weak lane, but often end up roaming around without success because my mid lane counterpart will ping my absence. The more I try to roam, the more I am opening the door in mid lane, enabling my enemy to farm their way back into the game or even get a tower. It's difficult to find a good balance here, especially if the enemy jungler knows what they are doing. I will often lose games like these because the longer the games last, the less impact I will have as an assassin and in team fights. I will get focused quite hard, obviously. Is there anything you would recommend? Should I try to get an early tower myself instead, potentially exposing me to jungle inks? Or maybe support the lane is not behind rather than the one that is getting stomped in order to take an early tower? Thanks for your advice. Great show. Lorraine. George is
I got
nodding.
something.
All right,
You got
got
something? Go, George. The floor is
So-
yours.
So hear me out. What if instead of getting ganked by the jungler, what if you gank the jungler?
Mind blown. Explain.
That was
further.
not what I was going to say. But I'm
Like-
interested to hear your thoughts.
Okay. So
I would like to
It-
subscribe to your newsletter.
it's been a theory of mine for a while, and Talon's probably the best person to do this on. You say you get a really high, like a really good lead, or by the 10-minute mark in your lane, and you say that generally speaking you can't transition to one of the other lanes because of your other laner pings you missing and warns him to back off. Sometimes if you're in a like competitive setting, like you'd actually be able to pull off a dive, but that doesn't tend to work in bronze solo queue. The rest of your team's just going to back out and leave you to die like a hopeless, like something.
I agree.
But
So, why don't
the
you
enemy
take it-
jungler does not have a tower protecting them.
Ain't that the
And
truth?
especially these days, you're getting a bunch of carry junglers, which means they do a decent chunk of damage, but they're also a lot easier to kill.
I actually like where you're going with this. I kind of thought about this before.
Like
Because really, who's a good mid laner besides like a Talon or an Aurelion Soul that can go team up with a jungler to go kill their jungler and their jungle?
Yeah. And let's say that like you don't kill him. You take him down to half health, and he runs away. I mean, he's still not ganking in your other lanes.
Yeah, he's off the map. It's kind of like.
And
I'll let you go ahead and finish this thought, and then I'll
and
throw my thought.
even
out
if he's
there.
not even there, you get vision on the jungle in that area, and you'll know when he is there or where he is.
Plus your Talon, and you could just parkour your way out of there in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. You don't even have to be worried about getting cut.
Just Assassin's Creed all over the place. That's all it comes down to. So my one recommendation, and I don't know how much I kind of like it kind of brings me back to like an Ari too, like as with a Talon as well, because on alt cooldown, if you get a lead in lane, because she's really safe. Ari's a really safe pick in lane till 6, and then you can blow up pretty much anybody at level 6 in the game. So do that, and then roam on alt cooldowns. Like, kind of do that. I mean, you can't roam as frequently as Talon, but at the same time, Talon has to wait for his wall jumps to be reset. So I think Ari would be really good for that as well, just because you could do 100 seconds is your ult cooldown every 2 minutes. Just go find their jungler. Just be like, all right, I'm going hunting, boys. I'm gonna catch me a knife cat in the jungle. Yeah.
And I'll guarantee you, like, yeah, the enemy lanes might like catch on if you're missing, but no jungler in bronze is going to expect the other mid lane to come and kill them in their own jungle.
I can remember times playing with people and then having them like actually like scream, just knowing that the enemy mid just like showed up in their jungle.
Yeah.
I like it. That is not the direction I was going to go, but I like it better than what I was going to say. I was going to say things like, okay, yeah, taking your early tower is always good. Just because first brick is still a thing. It's not as overwhelming as it used to be, but it's still a substantial chunk of bonus gold for your whole team, which even if your other lanes are losing a little bit, can help prop them up and get them back on even footing. In general, usually the jungle philosophy I always heard is don't gank the losing lanes, gank the winning lanes and get them snowballing more. So if like bot lane's losing, go top and help the top lane kill and snowball top lane a little bit and get that tower, at which point your top laner can go bot and you can 4-man murder face the bot lane, which I know Badger loves so much when the entire team just shows up. But even if you don't get the kills and throw the tower, you can take the dragon with the whole team. Yeah, I mean, 10 minutes also is, it seems to me, 10 minutes doesn't seem like a lot of time to me. Like,
that's like first item spike.
Yeah.
You're getting level 6 at like 7 minutes in. I mean 6 if you're mid.
So if you have a substantial lead, you should really be murdering that tower, or at least putting a lot of pressure on it. If you get it low, that means the mid laner can't leave. And like anytime they leave, they know they're going to lose it. So that just isolates them in that lane also, so they can't follow or roam elsewhere. But Badger looks like he wants to say something.
Yeah, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna force a turret down to like 30% health and then you're gonna roam on a wave, the best time to leave lane is after shoving a cannon wave, because it's gonna take longer for them to clear it, and then they're gonna be slower on it as well, unless they want to lose out on that influx of gold, and there's the potential that the turret just goes down anyway to minions. So
you can also ping help my turret as you leave. So maybe your jungler, if you're going bot and your jungler's on the top side of the map, they can rotate down, soak the free XP and gold, or at least keep their mid laner off the turret and occupied.
Hey, I'm gonna go kill their bottom lane. If you want, like a free wave of experience, just chill out here for a second. But they're
Yeah.
gonna know something's up if the jungler shows mid.
I mean,
Like-
A, it's bronze. B, like people always expect the jungle gank. They don't as often expect the mid lane gank. Slightly more than the top lane gank, but usually people are always like, "Oh, I see the jungler, I'm safe."
Mhm.
Like you don't see the mid lane Talon. It's probably fine. You could also do the old, obviously back and then run straight bottom.
Th-
Like- They'll more likely catch you, like if they see you just walk out of lane into the river, they're gonna ping like mad. But if they see you walk backwards towards your base back, they'll be like, "Oh, he backed, he's fine," and then you show up.
I'll say, having played a ton of like champions like Aurelion Sol and stuff, the number one rule for ganking as a mid laner is to try and gank from their side of the map. Generally speaking, ganks from your side won't work as well. Like, say if you're on blue side and you want to get gank bottom, if you have a way to get over it, like a Talon or Aurelion Sol, it's actually best to jump the wall at around their tribush.
Holy,
On-
yeah.
on the bottom?
If they're red side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that way you end up behind them. They don't have vision on you because you're not in the river. It's just a ton harder to actually see that coming. Same with like if you're red side, you still gank from the tri and around by the tower because that forces them to either go directly into you or down the river, and neither which is really where they want to be. Like,
Yeah.
It's as a mid laner, your time's really valuable. So if possible, you want to get to do the best way and get the most value out of it. And the most value out of it is, generally speaking, to gank from their side of the lane.
Yeah, I would agree. Especially if you have like a CC that they would have to kind of like walk through, like a slow or something like that. It's really gonna encourage them to try and go upriver. Which, if you have a jungler that can follow that and then meet him in the river and get like a little three-pronged attack going in, they're gonna have a bad time.
Mm-hmm.
Come at them from all angles. Yeah, flanking is really good if you can pull it off.
I think that covers that pretty well.
Yep.
Who do you want a question from next?
We'll save the last set of them for a rainy day, because there's some pretty good answers that could be had in a couple of them. So, or do you guys just want to do them now, since there's like 4 quick ones that we could do before we end?
Let's do them. Flakers?
Yeah.
Flakers.
Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah. So, Flaker, his first question is, how do you get in sync with your dual lane partner? I've been playing support and toying with AD carry. One problem I seem to have is knowing when to go in for the kill. I generally play safe, and I feel like I miss a lot of kill opportunities.
At this point, I think ping the abilities you want to use, especially if it's like an Ash ult or something like that, and ping you're like, oh, I have flash, I have heal, I have ult, and then ping a champion.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, we're going now.
If you're not in comms with them, pings are really, 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 really good, because you don't have to take time to type them out, and it gets your information across pretty straightforward.
So here's what you do. You call up your buddy, you go to a bar, and then you buy him a drink. Spend some time with them. Get to know them.
Are you
And just-
talking about how to get in sync with your?
Yeah.
What if they live?
I mean,
What if
because
you live in? What if?
like-
Okay, theoretically speaking, George, you live in Georgia and I live in Ohio. You're not old enough to drink.
Shh. I mean, realistically though, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is the best way to get in sync with whoever your partner is to just spend more time with them.
I agree.
Just play with them, get to know them better.
It's
If it's
difficult
just
to do in
So like
solo
you,
queue,
then I'm sorry, but
but Ping.
Pings.
all right. So the next one is, what are some champions that need a visual update? I played Volibear the other day, and I'm pretty sure his spell icons are the stock ones.
Visual updates.
Hey,
Uh,
I'll give you one. Name one. Choose one.
Me?
I mean, the rule here is you can only choose one. You can't choose more than one.
I can't choose more than one. Shoot.
What is the number one? And taking Eve and Urgot off the list because we know those two are coming next.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm trying to think of one that's not like Evelyn or Urgot. I mean, Evelyn's already had a
Fiddlesticks.
little bit of a.
I feel like they could do some good things if they updated Fiddlesticks.
I like that one.
As I go to the champion list in order of...
Nice.
Yeah, a lot of the older ones have been updated. Some way.
I think. Ooh, I don't want to cop out and say Fiddlesticks as well because. Gosh, this is actually difficult because, like, I know Urgot was my big one, but he's slated to get reworked here anyways, so.
I'm actually gonna say. I'm gonna say Pantheon, actually. Like, he's not necessarily bad, but I feel like they could do something really neat with him. And in a lot of the other champions that I like have mixed feelings about, like Cho'Gath, like they're already pretty like cool in certain ways. Pantheon is a cool champion kit-wise, but artistically I don't really see much there. He just kind of jumps at you and chucks a spear in no real flavorful way.
Wiggly
that I've seen.
spear.
Yeah.
Give them the wiggles.
The Wiggles. I would
No,
say,
that's cause.
man, I'm still debating between Renekton and Jarvan.
Mm.
But I think, I mean, realistically speaking, with Jarvan kit currently, how can you change that so it actually looks like better? Because
I mean, you could just update his textures and everything if you wanted.
textures, give like his alt like a different visual effect. Because right now it's just like rock sticking out of the ground. Like that's all it is. And his W. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm gonna say Jarvan because the W when like the Golden Aegis comes up and it's like nothing special and you're just like, wow, that's really disappointing to look at. No wonder nobody puts points into this anyways. So I'm gonna go Jarvan.
Nah. And are you still going
George.
Fiddle?
Yeah, I'm going Fiddle. George,
Right.
answer.
Yeah. Oh, I
He
already
said
said
Pantheon.
Pantheon.
Wasn't listening.
Yeah, he said Pantheon. All
I was
right.
thinking about the next question, which is, what champion would you pick to have as a roommate? I don't even know how to answer that question. I feel like I'm old and I want someone reasonably clean who just pays their rent. Because, like, if I was in college, it'd be like, Gragas, he's got beer all the time. That'd be a party time. But, like, now that I'm in my 30s, I'm like, that sounds awful. I want to go to bed. What is wrong with you? Everything is soaked in beer. So I mean, and then all of these people are so violent. I'm just like, I just want to chill out.
I think I'd probably pick Gangplank. Because first of all, he can summon oranges. Do you know
Do you
how
like
expensive
citrus?
oranges get if you eat like 2 a day?
Gangplank because
That
of the
actually
fact that
adds up.
he makes
Number
plenty of money and he has oranges.
number 2, I'm pretty sure he can pay rent with how much he makes. Number 3, I don't think anybody would be brave enough to actually try and evict him. Number 4, he can summon barrels, and yeah, they have gunpowder in them, but I can just clean those out and I get free storage.
I'm just gonna pick Tarek. I think he's gonna be chill. He's just like, hang on, hey man, I gotta go like climb a mountain today. I'm like, cool.
I
You gonna be home
go
for dinner?
climb a mountain. Yes, I'm just
I
gonna
don't think
casually
so.
go.
I'm like, all right, I'll see you later.
But does he give free oranges?
Does he give free oranges?
Nobody's super pretty. He's got lots of gems, so he's probably like independently wealthy.
All right. What about you, Badger?
See, I'm like debating between like a I don't know, just like a I feel like Lucian would be like a cool roommate. Seems like a nice guy.
No, he's gonna be a sad sack. He's still mourning the death of his wife.
So, he seems like a
That's-
nice guy though. You get to know
Yeah,
him,
but
cheer him up a little bit.
maybe.
Maybe I don't know. I'm like trying to think of like an AD carry. Like
Caitlyn.
Caitlyn would probably.
As long as you
I
don't
mean-
like step in a trap, it's like, ooh, cupcakes. Ow, motherfucker!
Well, I mean, like
Cupcakes,
she's
dude, come on.
she also seems like she'd keep the place pretty clean. Like
Yeah,
she seems like a clean.
Ash.
hmm
Yeah.
Something like that. One of like Caitlyn or Ash.
Not Jinx.
No, dude, Jinx
Not
is like
Jinx.
the polar opposite. Vayne just like goes missing whenever,
Jane is the
and then she just like
Jinx
walks
is the
into like
opposite of chill.
she walks into the wrong neighborhood, usually.
Kog'Maw's just no,
No.
No.
just no.
Draven.
Draven would probably I'd like come home and I'd see him like looking in the mirror. It's like, damn it, dude, get out of the bathroom.
Get a shave.
Draven had the best day. Oh, the ladies love Draven.
Okay.
Sure, man. That's cool. Draven got 4 numbers and scored 7 times. Yeah,
okay,
he
we
did.
get it. You vape, bro. Come on.
Draven is going out tonight. Don't expect Draven back.
I mean, as long as
30
he pays
minutes
his
later,
half the rent.
Draven has got kicked out of the bar again. Is it because you're an asshole? I think it's because you're an asshole.
Alright, so the last one. Alright, who is your secret champ that you love to play but simply doesn't work in the current game? And Flaker says his is Heimerdinger. I love that Yordle, but he simply just doesn't work these days. He thinks he needs an updated passive and something that'll let him share part of his armor and MR with his allies. So,
Hmm.
what secret thing do you guys play that you don't think could work in that could work, but basically, what's your secret pocket pick?
But if I tell it, it stops being a secret.
I'm gonna say mid lane Kha'Zix.
Ooh,
I remember when mid lane Kha'Zix was a thing,
spicy.
where you evolve and max W and you just clear the wave and poke all day, and then every once in a while you murder someone. And that's why I have that Mecha Kha'Zix skin, which it remains like an amazing skin 3 years later that I haven't used because I am a terrible jungler.
I'm trying to think of like a cheese pick that you could throw mid.
So, do you know how I was saying that I hate artillery mages and they're my least favorite champions to play against?
Oh dear God, what are you gonna say, George?
Probably my favorite champion to play. Maybe not necessarily the most fun, because most fun is like the Aurelian Sword and Talia, but my favorite champion to actually play is AP Kog'Maw mid.
That's another good one.
I totally
I
forgot about that one.
I
But that
I
works.
justify it to myself because he doesn't have hard CC, so he doesn't really get out of a jail free pass. So like if you screw up on him, you screw up. He is. I think he's mine.
I'm like, okay, so back in season 4, I played mid lane, full damage, like glass cannon crit Renekton, and I, no joke, dashed up to an AD carry with full Fury Bar, hit W on him, the 3 slices he was dead. And I was just like, man, this is stupid. Why don't I just play this every game? Because it was a really good matchup into like Zed and Yasuo. Did okay against range mages because he could survive the lane and then he just built damage. Like your whole goal is to go in and just murder them. If you don't make it out, that's fine. Just take a couple people with you. But like that was always just like so much fun for me to play. And I think that's why like I always like default back to like a Renekton if I have to go top.
Mhm.
It's just because like, oh yeah, I can like beat anybody pre-6. Let's do this. And then like I don't because I'm actually bad. So
Well, you know who's a secret champ that is good in the current meta?
top lane Lucian. I was wondering how one of you guys was gonna transform into it, and I almost jokingly said that as my pocket pick, but I'm
Hey, you have a winning record on
I
it.
was about to say I'm
Yeah.
1-0 with it, so
You've never lost.
I've never lost as top lane Lucian.
I mean, I never lost on top end Lucian, but you've actually played a game on it,
I've
so
actually
that's even
played
more
it,
impressive.
so
You've actually won a game.
I did win a game, and I won the game by flanking as top lane Lucian. So
Yeah, I was in that game.
George donated for me to play it.
Yeah, I paid for that. It was worth every cent. Every cent.
That was a good time. It's a good time. So, all right, I think that's it for episode 95. Do you guys have anything else you want to say before we go?
Thanks for all the questions. Keep writing in. And we appreciate each and every one of you.
Good night, and thanks for all the fish.
Fish. All right. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening. This has been episode 85 of the Forwards Podcast, and we will see you guys next week.
Toodles.
Bye.
Why is it set to that microphone? Actually, I'm gonna restart the stream real quick. Hold on. No, just settings that microphone.